One of the things that has been ever present in the BSCN program are the 5 program threads, also known as the building blocks of every single nursing course we've ever had to date. Now, we decided to share with you our opinion that all those course outlines were not in vain. Quite the opposite. In fact, on this day of all days, as we celebrate our success, we will also take a moment to reflect on how we got here.
The first program thread, being an effective communicator, is demonstrated by understanding the factors that influence communication and by using a broad range of communication techniques. As brand new nursing students in year 1, we quickly became familiar with the reality of therapeutic communication with our newfound 2 best friends, Potter and Karyne. Holding true to our effective communication skills, we refrained from enlightening fellow university students that 12 hours of lecture per week pales in comparison to the rigor of the BSCN program. And instead, we posed the question, can you tell me more about how this makes you feel? We also learned in maternal newborn class that it is a great idea to use visual aids when you need to get your point across, even if it entails a doll, some pantyhose, and a knitted uterus.
The second program thread is knowledge worker. This describes one who delivers work that requires use of higher thought processes, facts, information, and theories. One of the best examples of this may be the crafting of a nursing diagnosis. For example, frazzled nursing student syndrome, related to insomnia, deadlines, overwhelming course load, and massive memorization, as manifested by lack of social life, regular psychosomatic complaints, and compulsive use of Purell. I'm sure that as we grew in our abilities to become knowledge workers, every one of us had developed at one time or another a fierce case of nurse-itis. For instance, during mental health class, one may have discovered themselves to be an obsessive-compulsive, narcissistic hypochondriac. But therapy wasn't an option because there was certainly no time while completing this degree. Or perhaps it could have been something more subtle, like realizing you were a knowledge worker when you washed your hands before we used the washroom. And it was during our 3rd year when our knowledge working was put to the test, with exams and evaluations every other week. Sorry. We had to use the 6 C's of caring on a regular basis. Cramming, coffee, cue cards, crying, cussing, and more cramming.
The best possible professional service, strive towards improving the nursing body of knowledge, and accepts accountability for their actions. Throughout our clinical experiences in classroom time, we have manifested many fine moments as evolving professionals. For instance, family and friends, and sometimes even strangers, who upon realization that we are nursing students, attempt to lure us into analyzing their wounds, stool, rotten fingernails, and a multitude of other afflictions. We have demonstrated accountability by showing up, sometimes even on time, but mostly half asleep for those 8 a.m. classes with coffee in hand. As far as advancing our own professional body of knowledge, one of our most prized aha moments was the realization that if one can successfully pass community nursing class and remain sane, then anything can be accomplished.
Thread is critical thinking. This is when one thoughtfully uses information from what they've seen, experienced, reflected, reasoned, or communicated to guide how they think and act. For instance, thoughtful reflection on how much effort is required to succeed in a pass-fail course. Choosing the answer C on multiple choice because you cannot remember what the heck contraception is, but C sounds nursey. Critical thinking is doing a thorough assessment before assuming a client has passed away, especially so that they don't surprise you when they get up and go to the washroom. It that you can never have too many pens for clinical, or perhaps noticing that the reason you cannot hear a client's heartbeat is because you need to turn around your stethoscope earpieces, or perhaps when they inform you that their heart is on the left. It's realizing that while a natural birth may be magical, it might just be the best form of birth control ever invented. Or that it is not recommended to stand at the foot of the bed when washing trach suctioning. And finally, it is wishing that you could have stern words with the person who invented the call bell. Or at least brainstorming a way to make them less annoying.
The last program thread is our favorite, self-directed learning. It involves utilizing critical thinking regarding the use of time, information, and resources, a skill that we have been developing over the course of this degree. Whether it be realizing that sometimes the chapter summaries are all you need to read, or that there is a significant difference between textbooks that are required and those that are recommended. Each graduate here today has managed to identify learning needs and find innovative ways to get that information. By way of example, as Leanne and I were preparing for this speech, we were contemplating using the 5 program threads as our outline. We started by writing them down, but the ironic part was that no matter how hard we tried, we could only remember 3. After really thinking about the 2 that we were missing, and Alice even tried to remember her acronym from the exam, we marched ourselves down to the computer lab to look them up on Blackboard. Imagine our surprise to learn that we were missing self-directed learner and critical thinker. While we may have not remembered the core components to our program, we knew where to find them. So you see, self-directed learning is realizing that professors aren't really shirking their responsibilities when they insist that you do it yourself, but rather trying to help you help yourself. We got the point, eventually. In conclusion, we're done. Not just this speech, but this chapter of our lives as well. Now is the time that we should celebrate all that we've accomplished to get here. We should also not underestimate the sacrifices we've made and the knowledge we've gained. We have 4 years of current nursing knowledge, and while nursing is an ever-evolving field, that knowledge should not be taken for granted. Nursing is a great profession. I believe that to the core of my being, not only because of the multitude of job opportunities, but because it has taught us to be more, to grow a backbone, to take a stand for our patients, ourselves, and our profession, to challenge our insecurities, like public speaking, and to believe that with enough perseverance, anything is possible. The really great thing about nursing is it gives you a platform from which to make a difference. Anne Frank said, "How wonderful it is that nobody need to wait a single moment before starting to improve the world." On this day, as we celebrate our successes, and remember that while this is an end, it is also a beginning. That wherever you are, be it in bedside nursing, in the community, in private clinics, academia, locally or internationally, you have the power and the tools to make a difference. We can't wait to see where this journey will take us. Congratulations, graduates!